All right, taking a look at the Thunder bench in Game 2, they were outstanding. Specifically, Aaron Wiggins and Alex Caruso. Those two outscored the entire Indiana bench 38-34. Our guy 3D working hard in Indy. He just caught up with Wiggins.
Aaron, let's get right to it. Take the fans through how you got to be ready, stay ready, because certain nights you play a lot of minutes and certain nights you might not.
Yeah, just buying into the team, man. Putting the team first. When you're with a group of guys, such as the guys that we have, makes it fun, makes it easy. So being able to go out there, do what you love, and compete with that group, it's easy to stay ready.
I've been lucky because I've been around you guys the last couple of years. You get the new contract and how you guys play for one another. How deep is that chemistry and how can you describe it?
Yeah, I mean, it goes beyond just explanation. It's just a natural thing. Having grown together for the last couple of years, being able to share experiences on the court, off the court, obviously having success, and then, seeing the failure also, it just allows you to be a little bit closer and close-knit. So that chemistry goes beyond just basketball.
Take the fans through on a day-to-day basis. You have the MVP, you have Lou Dort, you have so many guys. How competitive are those practices?
Super competitive. I mean, from day one, training camp, and even before then, we see each other in the summer and the off season, and we're playing pickup and we're competing, and you see where guys are getting better, and you just know that there's a lot that's on the table for the future of the guys that we have in our locker room. So it's exciting. Every single practice, walking in, knowing that you're going to get better, you're going to be tested, you're going to be pushed, makes the game fun.
Speaking of being pushed, Game 3 here in Indiana, the crowd's going to be crazy. How big is it get off to a fast start?
Yeah, I mean, we just got to do a good job from the jump, just, asserting ourselves, making sure that we, kind of just establish a certain sense of aggressiveness, and get out and run, play our brand of basketball. Obviously, crowd is, different here, and we don't expect anything less than, what they've been for them all season. So we've just got to come in, focus, and on the same page.
All right, last one for you. The turnovers have been key in this series. How big is for you guys to take care of the basketball and get out and run?
Yeah, we got to do a good job, just being in the right spots, executing our plays and sets, and then defensively trying to slow them down in transition. They're obviously a fast-paced team. The better we are in those two aspects of the game, the better chance we have of winning.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right, Aaron Wiggins just had the 5th most three-pointers off the bench in a finals game history. He went, what was it here? He went 5 of 8 in 21 minutes in Game 2, 18 points. Again, just a key player. And Gia, you were making a great point. We're talking off camera here. There were just so many likable players, likable guys, high character guys on both teams in this series.
Yeah, none of these guys, even the stars, they're not attention seeking. Like, they're high character guys, soft spoken, well intentioned. They buy into the team concept. And it's one reason why a guy like Wiggins can be ready on a moment's notice, because he stays ready. And we hear that a lot, but you have to live that. And that's two things that I think when you talk about OKC and Indiana, they're coaching staffs, not just the head coaches. Yeah. You got to keep those guys engaged. You make the game fun, and they're leaders. Their best players also are very much embracing of them and empowering of them. And that's why I think they've had such success this season, both on and off the court.
I want to ask you quickly about Alex Caruso here, too, because when that deal was made for Giddey, I mean, you looked at what Giddey did during the regular season to what Caruso did. Obviously, they're not the same players, but people thought his value would come in the playoffs, and that's exactly what we are seeing right now.
Yeah, and that's a great point, because it's about, if you think about a basketball team, a team's a puzzle, and what you got to have is the right pieces fit. And as good a player as Giddey is, they were missing what Alex Caruso brings to the table, right? Because he's a guy that can go out and not take a shot and be one of the best players on the floor. And you're seeing it play out in this series with what he's able to do defensively, how he can change the game, in essence, and disrupt possessions, knocking down timely shots. It really also elevates everybody else defensively, because you don't want to be the weak link. Right. The way he plays the game and approaches it, I think it puts not a good pressure on guys like SGA and Jalen Williams to play at a high level. They take pride in their defense. And one of the biggest reasons is because he's a guy that sets the tone when he takes the floor.
Caruso, 20 points, 4 of 8 from 3 in that game, and that defense you talked about. He's talking to the media right now.
Yeah, it's kind of focused on the details of what got us to those moments of the victory. Just being present in the game. Obviously, it's going to be a different challenge coming on the road. This place it'll be rowdy. They'll be excited to cheer on their team, but for us, I think just sticking with the details of the stuff that we've talked about as a team that are important to to win the game.
Alex, you are the only veteran in the team. What type of advice do you feel that?
Yeah, just continuing to tell everybody that, one, it's not easy. Like everything, it's the finals. It's not going to be easy. You're going to have to earn everything. And then two, to just be confident in what you do. We've been a great team all year because we've been confident. We've played aggressive. So just backing my guys and telling them that, don't second guess yourself. Go out there and play the game.
How did you develop that? In this case, you just got to your leadership build that.
Yeah, I mean, leadership is whether you're in the NBA Finals or you're in Game 15 of the season. Like you're always trying to build towards the same thing. You're trying to build towards winning games and being, a championship caliber team. And that's just something that I've kind of always had the mindset of. So whether I've been, the 15th guy on the roster or 7th guy on the roster or I'm closing games in the finals, that's just always my mindset. So it kind of just comes naturally to just, flow into that in any scenario, in any circumstance.
What did you learn playing alongside LeBron James that you didn't every day, but you don't give
Yeah, I mean, just the ability to be a pro, like to work, to go get your treatment, to eat right, to sleep, get in your recovery tights. The competitive greatness that he has that I've picked up from him and other guys has been a good addition to my mentality. But really, just being a pro, being a pro's pro, like you don't get here. I think we've played over 100 games as a team now this year. Not including practices, not including, travel days, like all that stuff adds up. So just being a pro and making sure that I'm taking care of my body and taking care of my mind and bringing others with me.
You've seen a lot of the Siakam matchup the first couple of games. What challenges does he pose, one-on-one when you're working either down low or face to face?
Yeah, I mean, just his, the diversity that he brings offensively. He's been shooting the ball extremely well in the playoffs. Catch and shoot from three, off the dribble in the mid-range, and then obviously he's 6'8", 6'9", rangy. So if he gets close to the rim, he's got great touch, and he's a physical player, so he draws a lot of fouls. So just the diversity of attack that he has, and then he does a great job. He's one of the few guys on their teams that like really looks for isolation to score. A lot of the other guys, it's kind of through the flow of their offense and the pace, but he's a guy that, they run sets for to get ISOs. And so, the minutes that I have just kind of match up with him. So just trying to make it tough on him. Obviously he's a good player. He's an all-star caliber player, won a championship before. He's not new to this. So, just trying to make it difficult for him.
You have limited their playing touches quite a lot in the first 2 games. What do you expect them to do differently or any tweaks that they can do to try to get going?
Yeah, I mean, the Game 3 lesson for us this postseason has just been like they're going to come with their best punch tomorrow. And their best punch usually looks like high pressure on defense, crashing really hard, and then running, getting out in transition, because that's usually where they do a lot of their damage. And if they get ahead of you in that aspect, then you're playing from behind. And that's usually where they get into the paint. So just being ready for the pace that they're going to play with and the flow that they're going to have tomorrow.
Are your point of emphasis different because you're playing here and like this route there, try to get into it, so you want to make sure that you start the game the right way?
Yeah, no, the point of emphasis will be the same for us. That won't change too much depending on where we're playing, but, it is something to just be cognizant of. As there's times in the game where, maybe a quick transition shot for you, a 2-on-2 or a 3-on-3 isn't the play and you need to bring it back out and make sure you get a good shot. And there's other times where you need to be aggressive to almost match their pace and, kind of punch back with the stuff that they throw in transition, regardless of how the crowd's going or what the game feels like.
You mentioned like the energy they'll get from the crowd. You obviously get some from noise, but you guys are also pros who've played in all these venues and all these spots. So how much does being at home and having a home court really matter?
I mean, it definitely is an advantage. I don't know if it's, it's not the thing that's going to swing the pendulum one way or another. Obviously, we've seen, them go on the road and win games in hostile environments, all playoffs, as well as us, to be able to go into Memphis down a lot at halftime, Game 3, win that game, win a game down in the fourth in Game 4 in Denver, and then come back and win Game 4 in Minnesota. Like, they've had multiple games too. Like, I don't think either one of these teams, derives their energy and their competitiveness from playing at home. But it is nice to have that comfortability of playing in front of your fans. And then vice versa, us having to have the right mindset going in, understanding it's going to be difficult, it's going to be a challenge, and there's going to be points in the game where things don't go our way, and we're going to have to be ready to respond and kind of pull together as a team.
Alex, did you guys had a record 29-1 against the Eastern Conference team this year? So how difficult it's going to be for you guys being here for the second time, I think so, this year in Indiana for this game swing on tomorrow?
Yeah, well, 30-2 now after the first 2 games. Yeah, it's going to be difficult. I mean, it's never easy to play here. I played here, 2 times a year for the last 3 years when I played in Chicago, and I know how they play. I know how they come out at home. I know how the pace that they like to play with, the bounce, the energy. Really, that's our focus. Just has to be like we have to prepare for their best. That's what I'm expecting. That's what I think everyone on our team is expecting. And we know what that looks like, but going out there and doing it and taking care of it is a big challenge.
Which one are going to be the Kobe's for tomorrow?
All right, Alex Caruso, along with James Harden, the only players in OKC history to record 20-plus points off the bench in a finals game. That's pretty good company right there for Caruso with James Harden. Caruso just been so valuable to this year's squad. We're not done yet. We heard from SGA. We're still waiting on Lou Dort, who's scheduled to speak as we continue here on Finals Media Availability presented